Oh, we are live. Hey guys. Okay, so I just wanted to hop on here really quickly and kind of chit chat about what it is to be a patient advocate, what it means, how to get started. Yeah, all the things. So I guess I'll start with my journey into advocacy and, kind of my story of going from your everyday patient to an empowered patient. So I'm Chantel, and I blog at chronicallystrong.com. And I started my blog I started blogging in 2014 when I was going through a bunch of different surgeries. Basically, I had a bunch of things going on. My health was quickly declining, and ultimately me and my doctor just kind of decided together that it was time for surgery. And after I looked into my options and I kind of got the reviews and the inside scoop on the J pouch surgeries, then I decided to go ahead and move forward with the process. Going through the process was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. So I decided that I would just talk about it. I would just blog about it. And I was going to talk about life with colitis. So that was actually the name of my very first blog, Living with Colitis Daily, because there wasn't a day in my life that I didn't know or I didn't think about the fact that I had colitis. So I would say that that was my first real step into public advocacy. But what a lot of people don't realize, or what a lot of people kind of fail to put a lot of emphasis on, is that patients comes in many, many, many different forms. So you don't have to have a blog to be an advocate. You don't have to have an Instagram to be an advocate. You don't have to be some great public speaker to be an advocate. I feel like as far as patient advocacy specifically, it really starts with you. So you can't advocate for someone else before you start advocating for yourself. So by doing that, that's just simply knowing your rights, knowing your insurance, embracing your journey. Every day is not going to be a good day. Trust me, I know that. Every day is so complicated, so different. There's so much more involved with the everyday life from someone who's living with a chronic illness as compared to someone who is not, or a more healthy person. So yes, I realized that it's kind of hard to always embrace the journey. So I don't mean to appear positive or never have a bad day or anything like that, because 100% you're allowed to have a bad day. You're allowed to feel 100% how you feel. But while you're going through it, also remember where you've been and where you're coming from, and kind of appreciate what it's taken you to get to where you are today. So we have a question. It says, this is from Happy Life. Hi, Happy Life. So you were sharing your story for two reasons: one, for yourself, and two, for others. Inspiring for sure. Thank you. Yes. So I actually knew no one with my condition. So definitely blogging and kind of sharing my story online opened up a lot of doors and started a lot of good friendships, and just opened my eyes to so many things I would have never known, or it would have taken me years to realize otherwise, because these people, they were so helpful and so important. They were a big part of my journey. Right? I try to make it sound as decent as possible, but we all know that living with a chronic illness, it's complicated. So yeah, I started my blog, and I didn't really think anything of it. I didn't really refer to myself as an advocate or anything like that, because I was really just trying to talk about something that I felt too embarrassed to talk about one-on-one or with people face-to-face. And like I said, I didn't know anybody with my condition, so it's very hard for me to be relatable and really hold friendships while talking about these things. So I tended to just kind of keep it to myself. So once I started that, that's when I really started to realize what this whole patient advocacy thing is about. And while it is great, like it is amazing to be online and to talk to people and to help people, and even for the people that you're not necessarily helping and you're just kind of giving them maybe some motivation, some encouragement, trying to support them, it's still something. It's still like that human connection, that human interaction that is like priceless. And for those of us who live with chronic illnesses, sometimes it's more difficult for us to get those connections other than social media and other than these blogs and these different platforms that we're on online. Because I know for me, when I was going through my surgeries, I was strictly bedridden. I was not supposed to be out and about. I was not working at the time. I wasn't doing any of that stuff. So throughout this journey, through my advocacy, through blogging, through talking to people, and all of that good stuff, I started to realize that people really, they put a lot of emphasis on blogging or taking pictures and posting them to Instagram, or doing different social media things, when patient advocacy really, like I said, it starts with you. It starts in your hospital room, in your bedroom, in your doctor's office, wherever you are. You can start advocating today. You don't have to be in front of a large group of people. You don't have to be on social media. You don't have to be, seen to be heard. So you can 100% simply start with yourself, and simply start by advocating for yourself in your everyday situations. And that will give you the confidence you need to slowly start sharing your story even more, to slowly start impacting lives more. But that first person you really want to touch, that first person that you really want to inspire and empower, is yourself. So I have another question. It says, do you have relationships today that began when you started sharing your story? So yes, thank you so much for your question. But yeah, most of my friends today, I actually met them through this advocacy journey. Now, it wasn't necessarily in the beginning when I first started my blog, because I met one person at that time, and she really, really, really made an impact on my life. I always talk about her. I always like tell the story of, how I started writing, and then I posted a video on YouTube, and she found the YouTube video, and then we just connected from there. But so she was the main one that I met when I first started blogging, when I first put my story out there. She was the one who was like 100%, by my side. I used to text her all the time and ask her about these surgeries because she had gone through it, and she was such a big help. Now, from there, from one door opening, if you will, I really met a lot of other people. She knew people, and thank you. I'm glad that this is helpful for you. But yeah, from my first friend that I met through blogging and advocating online, she knew people. And then, with social media, it's just kind of like this never ending kind of rabbit trail, rabbit hole, they call it. So as you find one person, you find another person, and then you find another person with your same interests. So I really I really continued to meet people. After I met that first one, like more friends and more people who had my condition kept coming. So some of my closest friends to this day, the people that I text every single day, they are the ones that I met through my advocacy, through, social media, and also, kind of taking it up a notch and representing other patients and trying to speak out for other patients and doing the advisory boards and different things that myself and my friends have done. So Brian says, have you found that after advocating for yourself, people look to you to help them advocate for themselves? Seems very fulfilling. Thank you, Brian. So yeah, I'd say that most people who talk about advocacy to me, they want to do it like more publicly. And so that's why I kind of tie it to advocating for yourself. Because, like I said, I feel like you can't advocate for someone else until you build up that confidence and until you really start advocating for yourself. And so once I feel like once you hit that level where you're comfortable with advocating for yourself, where you're comfortable with speaking for yourself in the doctor's office, where you're comfortable with, and it's not going to be all the time. There are like intimidating situations. There are situations where we all like freeze up, or we're too tired, or we're too sick, and that's understandable. But to really have confidence in yourself and to really know that you as a patient, you do hold weight, your opinion matters, you do have the right to good health care, you have the right to be treated fairly. So yeah, so I would say that most people are looking, by the time they talk to me, they're looking to advocate more publicly. And so I kind of put emphasis on starting small and then kind of going from there. Um, I hope that that makes sense. But yeah, so as far as starting to advocate for other people, once you build up that confidence and you're really ready to take it to the next level, then maybe you do want to get more public with your condition. Maybe you do want to talk online. Maybe you want to start an Instagram. I know that people in the chronic illness community, they are so strong on Instagram. Like, we have such a big family, not just with IBD, but there are people with diabetes, with heart disease, with so many conditions that are really active on Instagram. And I feel like that's an amazing platform to be on because it's so visual and people love to connect with people. And there's no better way to connect with someone than actually well, other than one-on-one in person, is that visual connection. So they're seeing what you're going through, and so they almost feel as if they're there with you. So Instagram is definitely a great platform to start on if you um, want to just share your story and you want to empower others and you want to help others. Keeping in mind that you definitely want to be careful with your words and be careful with your posts and things, because if you're not a medical professional, you don't want to come off as a medical professional. You don't want people to ever mistake you for a medical professional. You definitely want to be clear in your intentions. So if your intentions are to inspire and empower, then let them know. If you are really just trying to connect with other people, then let them know that. But definitely you don't want to go posting things that could possibly harm the people that you're trying to connect with or the people that you're trying to get to know. That also ties into the information that you share. So you don't have to be a medical professional to know the difference between right and wrong. So simple things that may seem so small to you are actually very important. And a big thing with that is the information that you're given online. Not just like medical advice or things that can be taken as medical advice, but also just the information, just what you're saying, what you're telling people when you come online and you're sharing your story, or when you're in the public eye and you're sharing your story. You want to make sure that what you're saying is accurate. We all it's very, sorry, I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing any comments here. But it can be difficult when you're trying to spread information or you're trying to help people and they're asking you for information when you're not this medical professional, you're not a doctor, you're not a lawyer or whatever they're asking of you, but you really have this desire to help. So you want to give information, but you want to make sure that we're spreading accurate information. Inaccurate information can be so dangerous, especially for patients, because patients rely on other patients for a lot. Another patient's word, probably in my book, a lot of times another patient's word has held just as much weight in my mind as my doctor's, because patients want to hear that firsthand perspective. Patients want to connect with other people like them. I know I used to call myself a full-time patient because I was always in the doctor's office and I was always in the hospital and I was constantly in these different medical facilities. So I really did feel like a full-time patient. But I know that as much as I talk to my doctor and as much as I talk to these healthcare professionals, talking to another patient, I would get the information that they're giving me, or that they would give me a suggestion on an ostomy product that I should try, or an ostomy bag, or really anything. They would just give me suggestions and I would immediately go look it up. Whereas my doctor could give me a suggestion on a diet and I'd be like, oh, I'm not doing that. But if another patient gave me that same information on that same diet and told me, hey, it's really working for me, you should try it, I would definitely look it up, because patients love that personal, that one-on-one connection, and knowing that this person has what you have and they found something that works for them. I mean, that's important to us. So you definitely want to make sure that you're spreading accurate information. You definitely want to make sure that if it's an opinion, it's presented as such. And if it's not a fact, don't say it like it's a fact. If it's not 100% sure, 100% true, if you're not sure that this can cure other people's condition, then don't tell them that it can cure. Try not to use the word cure for diseases that don't have a cure, because obviously you didn't come up with the cure in a day. So that a lot of that stuff is very important. So top tips would be to start small. Definitely 100% make sure that you're presenting opinions as opinions, presenting facts with with sources, sharing accurate information, and sharing your intent with your followers or with whoever you're trying to reach out to. But like I said, it's not all about followers. It's not about, it's about helping people, and it's about connecting with people, and it's about giving people who wouldn't otherwise know an opportunity to learn. Or even if you're not, like I said, you don't have to give information, you don't have to be a scientist, you don't have to be a doctor, but just really being there to support people or to empower people or to really share what you offer to the world. So Brian said, this is great. What is your website again? Hey, Brian. So my website is chronicallystrong.com. It's the same as my little username on here, just .com. And yeah, so I made a website because I just wanted to kind of share my world online, not just IBD, not just anxiety, not just what I go through, but I kind of wanted to share everything that I'm really inspired by and everything that I really love. So I share like travel things, I share my family and different things like that. And if that's something that interests you, then 100%, that is definitely something to look into. I would also be careful because with the internet comes a lot of, you have a lot of pros, but you do have some cons. And one con can be that everyone does have an opinion online. So you definitely want to have thick skin, or at least be able to block out some negativity, because you don't want that stuff to really distract you from your mission or whatever you're trying to do. And while it is 100% like so amazing to empower people, to connect with people, to inspire people, and to do all of that is amazing, but also you have to make sure that you're doing this for yourself. You have to make sure that this is something that you want. If you don't actually love talking online, then maybe you wouldn't want to, do a podcast, or maybe you wouldn't want to do a YouTube channel. If you don't love, having pictures of your condition or your life or what have you, then maybe Instagram's not the platform for you. So just make sure that whatever platform you're going on or whatever you're trying to do with your advocacy journey, make sure that you're actually passionate about it, that you love it, and that you want to be there, not just because someone else is doing something, not because you want to be like someone else, or you're trying to get to a certain place, if that makes sense, not for followers, not for any of that stuff. Make sure that you're first doing it for you. And the moment that you don't want to do it anymore, I mean, share that information, but just don't. Being an advocate is more than just representing others. You have to be sure that you're representing yourself in a way that you want to be seen. And if you want to be seen as someone who's passionate, um, then you definitely don't want to do things that you're just not passionate about. So living healthy says, thank you. I really enjoyed your talk today. Thank you for watching. I feel like I had a kind of plan for this talk and it kind of just went in a different direction, but hopefully someone finds this helpful. Hopefully this will help to get someone through their patient advocacy journey, or kind of give them information on really what's important. Because like I said, your happiness, your passion is most important. And then if you're looking to connect with people, then you can certainly do that. But there are other ways to do that other than creating a blog or an Instagram or anything like that. And if you're passionate about it, go ahead. But if you just want to do it to connect with other people, then just know that there are definitely other ways. So yeah, if you like this and you want to see more topics like this, which I feel like I pretty much covered everything, but I also talked about this on YouTube, so you can YouTube search me. I guess it's just Sean Bethay on there, but I really I feel like that is kind of something good to, like, this is a good segue into that talk. But anyway, so yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sorry if this was kind of long, but thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with the next topic. Bye.